Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, first of all, I want to rise today to thank my colleagues. And first of all, I'd like to thank my colleague from Maine, the senior senator from Maine, Senator Susan Collins, for the important work that she's been doing on the Employment Non-Discrimination Act. And I would also like to thank my colleagues for supporting an amendment that was brought forward recently and passed by this body, the Portman-Ayotte, Heller, Hatch, McCain amendment to strengthen the protections within the Employment Non-Discrimination Act for religious institutions. I firmly believe that people should be judged based upon the quality of their work. Discrimination has no place in the workplace. In my home state of New Hampshire, we have a long bipartisan tradition of working to advance common sense policies. And New Hampshire already has in place a state law preventing discrimination based on sexual orientation. I appreciate that the Employment Non-Discrimination Act is legislation that is important in terms of who we are, our values, making sure that people are only judged based on the quality of work in the workplace. I also appreciate that the legislation on the floor right now includes important protections for religious institutions. I have long been a strong supporter of the rights of conscience, of the rights under the First Amendment of the Constitution to religious freedom, and so these protections are very important within this bill. And I was pleased to work with members on both sides of the aisle to strengthen those protections by passing an amendment that will help ensure that religious organizations cannot be retaliated against for exercising their religious freedoms. Specifically, the Portman-Ayotte Amendment affirms the critical importance of protecting religious freedom in the Employment Non-Discrimination Act. It ensures that government cannot penalize a religious employer because it qualifies as exempt from non-discrimination requirements of the Employment Non-Discrimination Act. The amendment protects religious institutions from adverse actions by the government on the basis of adhering to its religious tenets. In practical terms, the government may not use activities protected by the religious exemption as a basis to deny a religious employer a government grant or tax-exempt status or any other benefit that may be conferred by the government. I want to thank my colleagues for passing this amendment, which will strengthen the protections for religious institutions within the Employment Non-Discrimination Act. And I thank you, Madam President, for giving me the opportunity to speak today.